Producers, you do a song with an artist, 50% of the record is yours, bro. I don't give a fuck who hears this message, who feels the way about that shit. If you did the beat by yourself, 50% of that publishing is for you. So there's nothing to ask for. Like, I'm not asking for what's mine. Like, it's like you go to a store and they say, how much is Skittles? It's $1. I give them $1. Now I'm asking, hey, where's my Skittles? Give me my fucking Skittles. So 50% of the record is yours. And the money, you know, we got a little clout. Like, so our royalty rate sometimes is a little higher. Sometimes we might get 5%, but we're always getting 4. We're not getting 3. That 3 is 2017 for us. Our royalty rate is 4. But only because, you know, we've put the work in. Producers ask for 50% of your publishing and 3% royalty rate. Please.
Yeah, where we at?
We're doing big things. This is what we're doing.
Big backpack.
How we doing, man? Wow, this place is nice.
I'm from New York. I'm from Queens. Okay, where you from?
I'm from Yonkers originally. Where you want us to start setting up? Alright, bet. I think I'll let you have the creative direction on this.
Camera down.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Producer Royalty Podcast, and we're here today with Birdman Zoe, CEO of Timeless Music Entertainment and manager for the whole Internet Money Squad.
Yes, sir. The whole Internet Money.
It's freaking crazy. Thank you so much for joining me, bro. This is an absolute pleasure.
Like, I had a lot of appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. I had a lot of fun and learned so much digging into your backstory and like the way you deliver ideas and the amount of game that you put out there. Like it's I really appreciate it. So I'm not gonna dig too deep into like your backstory because that's already out there. I want to just get right into it.
Okay,
that's cool with you.
Man. Hey, let's get it.
Yeah. So let's start with Internet Money. So what was the vision behind Internet Money, and what was your role that you played during that process?
So I met Taz on Twitter actually in 2016. I know everybody knows this story by now. Basically, my vision in Internet Money was, I'm gonna have to go back a little because I've seen Mike Will with Eardrummers from day one. I've seen Southside with 808 Mafia from day one. So I've always seen that producer collective and how they built their brand, how they built their popularity, and how they built their status. So when I got with Taz and I seen he had the same collective, I'm like, we could do the same thing. I'm not saying we're going to carbon copy, but, you know, you always have to watch the greats that came before you. Just like Kobe watched Jordan. I'm sure LeBron watched Kobe, who watched Jordan. So I watched Mike. I've watched Southside. I was actually with them from day zero.
Yeah. And
now I'm with Taz. Now I have a chance with Taz to do the same thing. And that's really how it all came from. But Taz always had the vision. Like, Taz is like, and he always says this, he's like Kanye West mixed with like Jimmy Iovine. Like I call him the mad scientist, the evil genius. He always had the vision, he always wanted to be big, but he never really believed that it could happen. So then he got with me, I kind of, you know, pumped him up. Yo, bro, trust me, you can do this. Like, it's going to take hard work. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take a lot of, we're going to be crying, we're going to be laughing, but it's going to happen. And look, 8 years later, look where we're at.
So when you came on board, like, you guys to this day don't have a management agreement, I don't think, right?
And I'm not telling him, I'm looking at the camera. I'm not telling producers to do this. I'm not telling artists to do this. It's certain situations in life where it just works. Ludacris and his manager, like Shaka, they don't have nothing. I want to say Outkast and his manager also. That's not the ideal situation. Me and Taz it just works for us. We don't have no agreement. And I'm looking at the camera. I'm not telling you to do this. But me and Taz, look, we know what it is. We both came in here like, look, this is what this is. This is what that is. There's nothing to talk about. Let's get to the work. Everything else is going to come. So we don't have no agreement. And again, I'm not telling people to do this, but we don't have no agreement. But we just both know what it is, and we're here for the long run. And Taz knows this. And people who know my personality, Taz can say, Bird, I don't want to work with you tomorrow. I'm going to shake his hands. All right, bro, we had a hell of a run. If you have a question tomorrow, you call me, I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to have you back for life with or without music. So it is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
But no, to answer your question directly, no, we don't have no typical standard management agreement. Mm-hmm. We just don't.
So what was that relationship like when we were first starting? Was it kind of like how did you kind of pitch yourself or work your way into really building with him?
It wasn't really no pitch. We literally was on the phone for like 6 hours that same day. Like, I got his number on Twitter. He called me, and I'm like, yo, why are you going so hard on Ninth Wonder right now? Like, what's going on? You don't understand. They look down on us type beat producers, whatever that bullshit they used to say. And I'm just fighting for us, you know what I'm saying? And I know you had a record that went crazy, number one, that was a type beat record. Shout out to Menace in the UK. He did the Panda record. It was a Meek Mill, Ace Hood type beat. He's like, so I know you had a record like that, so I know you understand. I'm like, yeah, I did understand it. And we had a type beat record, and it did go number one. And we spoke on the phone, told me about his kids. He had a son. I told him about my kids, my background. I'm from New York. I'm Haitian descendant. He told me he's from Jacksonville, Florida. Yada, 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 yada. We spoke on the phone, and it was really no conversation like I'm gonna be a man. It's almost like, all right, bro, we're married now. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward, it's funny. I was on my way to go see Steven Victor. I was on my way to the Universal building, and Taz like he hit me like, you know Steven Victor? I'm like, yeah, why? He said, no, he just sent me an agreement for a record for Designer and Gucci Man for a song called Life.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm like, yo, tell me managers. I said, tell him your manager's on the way to the building right now. So I called Steven like, yo, Life Records, like, yo, how do you know that? So that's my client. He said, oh, that's crazy. You're on your way to the building. And from there, that was like the first agreement I ever did with him. And from there, it was just, to the clouds.
Damn, yeah. So what did you kind of, and you can answer this maybe in a general way too, but like, what did you see that Taz or Internet Money was kind of missing from the business perspective, and maybe other producers first starting out?
It was no real business perspective, because in the beginning they was doing all like selling like the sound, the kits and the drum kit, the loops, the drum kits online. So there wasn't really no management needed. I know Taz wanted to get into the business. I was in the business. He wanted to get his feet wet. I'm okay. I see your vision. Let me help bring my managerial business aspect to your creativity, and let's see what we can do. And then from there, we just went. It was nothing like, oh, you need a manager tomorrow because it was nothing like that. It was nothing like that.
Yeah. So when you started building out the company, what were some of the first things that you kind of had to do to kind of break through to the next level?
Make sure the contracts were right. Make sure the BMI registrations were good. Make sure his publishing companies was intact. Make sure his LLC was properly done. Make sure that you paying taxes, like certain things like the boring shit. You know what I mean? But that's really important.
Yeah.
Like that side, because the creativity and all that stuff, he handled that to the T. Mm-hmm. Even though I help give my advice and do certain things, but Taz is like his own marketer. He knows how he wants to look, how he wants to dress, how he wants people to perceive him, how he wants to act. One thing I can always say, and Taz can admit it, the only thing I got into and I changed was his attitude and how he spoke. You know, he's very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? You know, Florida man. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like, yo, we can't do all that sometimes. Sometimes we got to, play the cool route. We can't be yelling all the time or cursing or yada, yada, yada. So for the Taz from 2016 to 2024, it's a brand new person.
Really?
It's not the same Taz at all. Growth, maturity, understanding. He was younger back then. Now he's more of an adult. He understands certain things you're not supposed to do. It's two different people. So that's one thing I can say I helped evolve or help change. It probably was going to change regardless with or without me. I just gave it a little boost to happen a little quicker.
Mm-hmm. And like, since we're talking about attitude and the way things get done, producer royalties, like I branded as a debt collector for producers, but we help producers get paid for their placements. And a lot of times, first let me ask you, do you guys still have issues collecting payments for, your producers now?
It's funny you said that. So it's very sad for the producers and the songwriters because they get treated the worst and paid last. When the managers for the artists or the labels reach out, hey, we need this signed, we need the sessions, we need the stems, we need the files, we need this agreement, we need this session form done. Everything's done at a rapid pace. We need this done tonight, tomorrow. We need it done in 5 minutes. I'm professional. I get it done. But now the reciprocal, my producer need to get paid. It's crickets. Nobody's around. The messages get replied to a day later, 2 days later. Emails get responded to 5 days later, 2 weeks later, 2 months later. I've been in a situation where my producers are asking for payment almost a year later. And I like playing the calm because, I could become Suge Knight if I really wanted to. I like playing the calm, but sometimes it's like, nah, fuck this shit. Excuse me for cursing, but fuck this shit. Now we got to take it to the next level. All right, the song's going to get taken down. Or they might reach out to you to clear another song. I'm not clearing shit until you pay my guys what they owe. And it's got to a level where now when they see my name or my email come across the board, don't play with me.
Yeah, because that's what I was kind of getting at. Is like, what's your strategy for going to resolve those? Because a lot of producers go straight to the internet, talking crazy online, all that type of stuff.
We don't do all that.
You guys don't do that.
And I'm not bragging, but again, once they see Daniel Desir is my real name, I start talking a little differently on the emails because I really don't give a fuck. And it's not no disrespect. I'm not acting like I'm a bully because it's not the case. But you're not gonna do nothing. So you want to respect my guys and not pay us? All right, now I'm going to talk to you crazy. Now I'm almost forcing your hand to do something now. And it usually gets resolved. And again, I'm not promoting violence or ignorance. I'm not telling nobody to do nothing ignorant. But sometimes you got to buck your chest and like, all right, don't play with my guys because I'm here to watch their back. Same way you're here to watch your artists back, I'm here to watch my producers back. And I got their back. And we're going to take it to whatever level you want to take it to. Hopefully we stay business. and get my producers paid, and we keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Is that usually all done through email, or do you kind of, sometimes got to hop on the phone?
If
with
I
the
know you
A&Rs, the
personally,
lawyers?
I'm going to call you like, yo, bro, what you doing? Like, my guys need to get paid. But usually it's done through emails. And there's some lawyers who I'm real cool with now. It started with like, oh shit, Bird's emailing us. Oh, make sure Bird's producers get paid. So it's almost like a funny joke sometimes. Like, oh man, I see Bird. Do I owe you any money? Like, you might owe my guy some money. Is it here?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you go to work every day. I'm sure the lawyers want to get paid. The artists want to get paid. I can't book your client for a show for next Friday and not send him his deposit or give him his backing when it comes. So why the fuck you play my guys for?
Yeah.
I want the same respect.
Who do you think is usually, or at what point in the process do you, in your experience, do the payment issues start? Like, who is the cause of it usually, and kind of how does that usually
I don't
go?
know who's the cause of it on that side, but I make sure on my side, whatever's needed, you need contracting details, I make sure legal sends it the same day. You need something signed, if we got the producer agreement, it's sent the same day. I never give you the opportunity to say, hey, we're missing something from you guys. So it's always on the other side. I'm not going to say it's the artist, the manager, the lawyer, the label. I don't know who it is, but they're all on copy. They all see it. But, they take their time because they got what they needed. So it's like, fuck them.
Yeah, which would be, I guess, like the partially executed a lot of times, so that for them they feel like they're in the clear to.
They're in the clear because you guys already get the terms and approved. And then now to get the fully executed to get payment, it's like pulling teeth. I could almost go get a fucking master's degree before I get some payment sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
So they stop you from sending advances if you don't have the fully executed? In our experience, usually they wind up sending.
Some labels will send partial payment. Some won't send no payment. Some will send a full payment.
Yeah.
It just depends on the label, depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, they're going to need it in their money record. So they know not to play around. And then sometimes they got the audacity to not have paid for a record from a few months ago to ask about a record that has to get cleared that's coming out next week or 2 weeks. That's why I look at you like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And I'll write an email. I literally write it like, I'm not clearing this record until this is paid. Or you're the lawyer for this client, I'm not clearing this record until that's paid. And then usually the time it gets fixed.
And, like, so a lot of times they say things like that, like, the process kind of just freezes, right? And then when their back is against the wall, we can oftentimes get the label to pay within like 2 days. Meanwhile, they're like, oh, it's net 45. There's nothing we could do. This is how long that we take. Like, do you ever kind of push back against it? Like, when you push them forward, are they able to get the money in your bank account like next day type shit?
I respect net 30, net 45. I respect it. My guys got accustomed to understand how it works. We respect it. But then when it gets 31, 32, 45, 47, 48, it's like, all right, bro, where the money at? Yeah. But most times, they pay it. I'm not going to lie. A few times, like, shout out my man M from High Bridge. We had a record with, Nicky did a record with A Boogie. They paid us quick. The fastest we ever got, and shout out to Columbia Records, whoever was doing Polo G, is my man Lou. We did the producer agreement, let's just say on a Monday. I think payment was sent like on a Friday. I looked in the account like, wow, that's crazy. So shout out to whoever's doing Polo G stuff, Lou, Columbia Records, whoever was doing Polo G. That's the fastest I ever seen a producer agreement get signed, payment gets sent out. So, I mean, that must mean that they're handling their business over there.
Yeah. Why do you think, like, what do you think is the cause of it usually? Do you think it's kind of just people, I guess you kind of touched on this already, but I don't know. Usually I feel like it's the lawyers to blame a lot of times because they wind up being the ones that are just kind of not pushing the agreements through.
Sometimes the lawyers can't get a hold of the managers.
Yeah.
Sometimes the managers are chilling and on some bullshit. I don't know who's to blame. And I'm not going to point fingers because, again, it's 4 people. It's the lawyers, the managers, the admin, and the label. So one of the 4 is to blame. And they're always going to say, yo, it's this person, that person, this person, that person. So it's always going to be a finger pointing. But at the end of the day, it's just like, yo, when you guys wanted the agreements partially executed, when you wanted the stems, when you wanted the session forms, it was sent over.
Yeah.
Because nobody say any of them money doesn't handle their business. If you send me something today, if I don't get it back to you, because I got OCD. So it bothers me when I know it's lingering around. If I don't get it back to you in an hour or that night, by tomorrow, I promise you, it's sent back. Mm-hmm. And we don't usually get the same respect. And I'm not saying us. I know a lot of producers just don't get the same respect. Because you feel like, all right, we got the terms. You guys can fucking wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how it goes.
How does negotiate, since you mentioned it? Well, first I want to say we use a couple terms, so terminology. We were talking about net 30, net 45. Net 30 and net 45 is what the labels tell you, and their policy of how long they take to actually pay out the invoices. So that's what that is. And then we were saying partially, fully executed. Partially means it's signed by just one party. Usually the producer signs first, so when it's partially executed, it's the producer's signature. And when you're looking for the fully executed, it means you're looking to get it signed by the artist or whoever is on the artist team. So just want to clear that up.
The crazy part is, most of the times, the lawyers, the managers, they have the authority to sign for the artist, so they
Yeah.
can just do it.
Yeah.
It's on DocuSign. You can just sign it yourself.
Yeah.
It's all the same team. But it's like I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
we're waiting for the artist. Stop it. You can sign that shit. Like let's cut the bullshit.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
what I
it
try to
is.
do. I try to send I use Dropbox signature, but you can send DocuSign just to the management's email, and then just send it to them. They press 2 clicks, and then it's signed. So if you
It's
make it
fu-
as easy as
It's funny
possible.
I said that Taz. Somebody like Taz, we need an agreement signed. And they're like, did you send it to Bird? No. Well, you're not gonna get it signed. Then that's like a little joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, you were talking about terms, right? And I think a lot of producers struggle with when they're first getting started. Like, what do I ask for? Like, this is my first placement. I don't know what to ask for. Of course, the
What do I look
publishing's
so
easy.
everybody make sure they're paying attention? I look right there.
The left
All right,
one.
Let me tell you something. Producers, you do a song with an artist, 50% of the record is yours, bro. I don't give a fuck who hears this message, who feels the way about that shit. If you did the beat by yourself, no co-pubs, no samples, 50% of that publishing is for you. So there's nothing to ask for. Like, I'm not asking for what's mine. Like, it's like you go to a store and they say, how much is Skittles? It's $1. I give them the $1. Now I'm asking, hey, where's my Skittles? Give me my fucking Skittles. So 50% of the record is yours. And then the money, you know, we got a little clout, like people say, you know, we got the juice a little bit. So our royalty rate sometimes is a little higher. Sometimes we might get 5%, but we're always getting 4. We're not getting 3. That 3 is 2017 for us. It's 2024. We didn't produce some of the biggest records in the last decade. Our royalty rate is 4. But only because, you know, we've put the work in. Producers ask for your 3% royalty rate, your 50% publishing. The beat fees, that's when you get a little, you know, creative. You figure that out on your own with your team and your manager, your lawyers, and you get your beat fees. But producers ask for 50% of your publishing and 3% royalty rate.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Do you so with the beat fees? What do you feel like is a good starting point to like consider? You know
Again,
what I mean?
is be creative. It depends on where you're at in life and how many records you have. How big is your juice? Our juice on my side is pretty big. So we're going for that. We're going for those numbers,
Yeah.
respectfully. But, you know, it depends. It might be a new producer that's signing the money. So, but by default, you're going to get a higher fee than you ever had in your life because you come with the brand into their money now.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be greedy. Don't go ask for I need $100 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do no crazy shit. Just know what you're worth. Know what you want to be worth. Know what you feel like you deserve. And go for it. And then it's negotiations. You might say, I need $5,000. We can only pay $3,500. Okay, cool. I need $3,500 non-recoupable.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, I get paid from play 0. The minute they play Spotify, we get paid. I'm not waiting for you to recoup your money for me to get paid. It's a little term for you guys, non-recoupable.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I try to.
People
push
not
that
gonna
a
like
lot.
this, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
They
Our
gonna
community's
do
gonna
that.
love this shit. Our community's gonna love this shit, bro. But yeah. So, I guess, do you feel like $5,000 if you're first starting out is a good starting point for an advance? Like that's kind of what I usually suggest. Like you could start at $5,000 and then
I mean,
try
they
to
might
work
look at
around
you
there.
like you crazy, but you can start at 5,000. But they might say, I'll give you 2,500.
Yeah.
I'll give you 1,500. Sometimes it's not really. Don't worry about the money. If you can build a relationship with the artist, chase the relationship. They can give you a higher royalty rate, no payment. Take that. If they can guarantee you another placement, take that. Don't mess up a record for the money. Unless the artist is coming at you sideways, by all means, get your money. But don't really be pressed on the money because it's going to come. As long as you put the work in, the money's going to come.
Got you. And what about if you're working with an indie artist? Because, 3 points is for if you're working with an artist that is with a major label.
That's
so
not
if you're
true.
working,
See, I'm going to stop you right there. 3 points is just the label term
yeah.
for the royalty rate. Because when you're working with an indie artist, you can say, I want 15% net artist royalty. Or 20%, 25%. So you're working with indie artists, you guys do it, figure it out. All right, y'all, let's do the record together. Let's bust everything down the middle. I can become your sole producer, or I can give you more records. I believe in what you got going on. And then when you do get signed, look out for me. Say, I'm looking out for you. You might get a budget to pay producers or a budget for your album. Say, hey, I know I didn't pay for these records, but here's $5,000, here's $10,000 for those records. Let's continue on with this business. So there's always a lot of ways to get creative. But the 3 points, 4 points, that's like label terms. But somebody's indie, you could ask for 25%. Or you got actually 20% or 15%.
Yeah, because points is PPD. So 3% PPD, price published to dealer, which is like the label calculation for paying out royalties. That is all complicated. I haven't met anybody that could actually explain that. But then when you're working with an indie artist, you're working off of net profits, which is a different calculation. And the reason where 3% comes from is the artist royalty with their label is like 16% typically, 16
Yeah,
to
so it might be like
18%.
nowadays, these artists nowadays, they come with they flexing. So sometimes it might be 18. Before it was like 15, 16. I think now I see 8. I see some get 20.
Yeah.
But
And
18%. And then so look, if the artist has 16% and you ask for 4, now the artist has 12. And you get the 4, and that's how the royalty gets paid out.
And that's why when you're working with an indie artist, like 3 divided by 16 is like 18%. So the producer's getting like 18% of what the artist is getting, and that's why it kind of scales up to be different when you're with an indie artist.
But it's really the same thing. All you're doing is dividing it, though.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
so
the same.
4 points on 16% is 25%.
Yeah.
So if I tell the indie artist I need 25%, I'm really getting 4 points.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, just different calculations.
Yeah, it's like the net receipts equivalent of 3 points PPD.
Exactly.
It's like what we would ask for on like email.
Exactly. That's why I said indie. So 3 points could be like 18, you would say. So I'll just ask for 15. Or if you want to get a little more, you know what I mean, get 20. If you really want to get a little for real, get 25.
Do you ever, so something I struggle with or I don't know how to go about, if we're working with like an Empire or Create where they're like an indie artist and we don't really know what their royalty is with their label, do you ask for that to kind of decide
what they get?
Yeah, because that's kind of how you would decide.
You're going to answer your own question. You think they're going to tell you?
Sometimes they tell us. Well, I guess they don't usually tell us. They'll kind of have like a deemed royalty rate, and then they'll do
if they're indie, tell I want 15% or 20%.
So if you're working with an Empire, let's say an Empire artist, you never heard of them, but they got a little bit of motion, like what would you kind of wind up asking for a royalty?
20, 25.
20, 25?
It's almost like me asking for 4.
Every time you're working with a indie label like that? Empire, Create, Music Group.
It all depends on the artist relationship with the producer. It all depends, but yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, you want the royalty, especially when we're not doing a beat fee. It's almost like if this is a 2-way street, how do I win? You win because there's no beat fee, so you got the beat. Cool. How do I win? What if the record blows up?
Yeah.
I'm getting on the backside. Cool. I mean, we have an agreement.
Yeah.
My artists need their royalties.
Yeah.
It's funny. We did a song with Anuel, and I think he's Sony Orchard or something like that. It's like independent almost.
You're gonna say he doesn't get a royalty, aren't you? Or the producer does it? Because I'll let you finish.
This is their money, bro.
Yeah.
So
well,
again,
I know in reggaeton they try to not give producers
the Spanish market is a little different. I mean, I'm not in the Spanish market. We've done Spanish records. You know, we got our royalties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we did a record with Anuel. It was called 23 Frugantes, something like that. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Like 4 years ago. My producer Census, Jug, and Taz. And, you know, the record did really good. And we got our royalties. So they're going to get paid a nice check soon from royalties. You want your royalties, man, because you never know what the record might become. It could blow. It might not blow up today, but look how TikTok songs from 5-10 years ago are blowing up right now. Some of those producers and writers, they're getting a royalty check. Imagine they didn't have no royalties. They wouldn't even get nothing besides publishing. Even the publishing is great too, but you can get royalties. Get your royalties.
Yeah, the master royalties, because one thing I try to talk about a lot because I feel like I call it the label's biggest secret is master royalties because most producers that we wind up reaching out to or talking to that have like a gold or platinum song or even songs with 50 million streams, like they've never received master royalties. They don't know what they are. So that's kind of a big thing that we do is help them collect them. So what have been your experience kind of helping producers get master royalties?
So thank God we have a businessman like Taz pays for Internet Money's business management. Justin Kobe, like shout out to him. And Taz been having him since 2017, I believe 18, like 5-6 years now. And he goes and their team, they go and collect our producer royalties. So they make sure we always have fully executed agreements and they always go through the agreements, check streams, and if the song's big enough, they start attacking for royalties. Because like you said, most producers, they'll do a record, they wouldn't even go ask for about, yo, did the record clear? Are we entitled to royalties? And most labels don't ask, don't tell. Shit, I'm not giving you nothing you didn't ask for. I ain't giving it to you. You know how much royalties is unclaimed out there?
It's ridiculous.
It's not even funny.
Bro, it's ridiculous. Yeah, there's songs that we've gotten producers, like I've gotten one producer $120,000 in master royalties from one song. It was at 1 billion streams. But yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
And it's crazy. I remember sometimes people used to do like escalations. So we'll do a royalty for 3% with escalations. 0.5 on gold, 0.5 on platinum. So you might have started at 3, and the song is double platinum. You're at 4 now, bro.
Yeah.
But you don't even know who to ask for. You don't even know. You just leave it alone. You're just cool with your publishing, your BMI checks. You're cool with your beat fee. You don't even go get the master royalties.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's any terms that just kind of are industry standard, not necessarily just for producer agreements, maybe for publishing agreements or management agreements, like that you feel like kind of like we should maybe change the narrative or push back against? In some sense, like it doesn't make sense to be industry. Like, does 3 points make sense?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really answer that because I don't know where that 3 points thing came from. So I don't know how. I don't know who came up with that number, or why that's the number. Will I change it? I mean, shit. If you're asking me, I'm in the producer family, so give us the most we can get. I mean, but I don't know why it's like that, how it's divided. But I also don't want to tap into all the artist stuff when they're the ones really marketing the record, paying for it out of their pocket. We did the beat, which is the biggest part of the song also, but I wouldn't probably want to go tap in and take all their artists' money. So I'm not really mad at the 3-4 points, but I don't know where it came from to even say it should be changed or it's a bad or good number. So I don't even want to talk about that and it sounds stupid.
Yeah, I've heard this explanation for it. On the publishing side, like, we're splitting that 50-50, producer and artist split that. But on the master, it's like the artist is the one making the master valuable. Like Carl Folks talks about this. If the producer wants a higher royalty rate, then they should help make the master valuable. Like Internet Money is helping push it. They're helping with the marketing. They're actually making it the master worth money, I guess. And, they're not as much. The producer's also not taking a risk financially like the label and the artist might be.
But it's funny you said something about helping with the master. Like sometimes some people go get a Mike Will beat or Southside beat or Taz beat or Nick Mirror beat, whatever. The beat is his own marketing. Some people only play it because of the 808 Mafia or You Got London on the track.
Yeah, that's it.
Or Mike Will made it. And that's the only reason they're actually playing the song. So is that marketing? It might be. So give them motherfuckers some more money.
I agree.
I
am 100% agree. What
advice? Am I good with
advice?
the mic? Everything sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. What advice do you have for people who are or producers coming up looking for a publishing situation? Like, what do you think is a good way to start your career? What should you be thinking about when you're first?
So that's funny you said that, right? Because nowadays all these producers only think about is publishing deal. Nothing wrong with the publishing deal. I'm all for it. But build a brand first. Build a catalog. Build a brand. Build a name. Because if you go get a publishing deal with nothing, you're gonna get nothing. So now you're at the mercy of the publishing company. But if you build a brand, build a name, build a catalog, you can almost dictate your own terms. So now you're the master of your future. So you can, if you want 100,000, they'll give you 100,000 because you deserve 100,000. Also try to build, and a lot of artists nowadays, they don't really, this might be dinosaur terms, but try to get radio records. You get paid when your music is on the radio. Like Middle of America still plays the radio. They still watch videos. People be like, I don't care about videos no more. Nobody's watching TV, which is true, but there's parts of the world where they only do that. Latin market is big. You know why? Because of YouTube. Like when you go to, I've been in DR, I've been to Colombia, even Haiti. I'm Haitian. I go to Haiti, Jamaica, those other countries. They don't have money for Spotify subscriptions. Yeah. They're on YouTube. When my uncles come from Haiti and their friends are in the house, they're watching Haitian music videos and artists on YouTube. Try to build that for that lane. You see what I'm saying? Like, try to get radio records. To me, and I still believe in this, the biggest promotion is the radio. I know we all have Spotify, but you don't understand. This is America. There's other parts of the world. Tap into that. So when I tell a producer, don't focus on just saying, I want to get a publishing deal right now. Build your brand out. Build your catalog. Build your allies, meaning the artists that you deal with that you can help build and break records. Like Nick Mirror with Juice WRLD with DT. They helped with the Juice WRLD. So that was their catalog. Taz Taylor Nick with Little Tekka. Like Zaytoven and Gucci Man. Like Mike Will with Ray Shrimmer. Southside with Future or with Gucci or with Waka or how that worked. Build your catalog with them and help build records. The bigger they get, the bigger you're going to get. So now people are going to want to sign you, want to give you the big deal, be around you because you're building your brand by getting with certain artists or building an artist from ground zero.
So if you're starting out, what do you think that, how do you feel about producers who are like, I want to just hold out and not have any publisher, any admin collecting it until I build up my leverage, and they wind up letting all, as Carl Legret says, all the money fly down the drain potentially?
Because you got 3 years to collect that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some instances where they can go further back, but to collect, to like, for example, if you don't register your songs, I think it's like 3 years and it just goes down the drain. Yeah. Some instances that you can get a little creative and go to 4 to 5 years, they'll still collect it. But Carl's not lying. Your money will go down the drain. Get an admin situation where it's like a 90-10 or 80-20. They go collect all your money and give it to you. Nothing wrong with that. Or if you want to do the publishing 50-50 route, go with that and they'll advance you your money. But then now they're collecting and they own half of your publishing. It all depends on how you want to do it. There's no right or wrong answer because there's no recipe or secrets to success. What works for you might not work for me. What works for me might not work for her. Whatever you feel right, take that chance. You have to take chances in this music business.
If I'm a producer that wants to get into signing other producers, what do you think are some things I should start considering?
Before you go into signing other producers, make sure you have a brand built. Also make sure you're knowledgeable with the information. one thing I tell producers all the time is don't just sign people because they got records or placements. Bring value with not just creativity, but with information. Learn about royalties, how to collect them, who to go collect them from. Learn about your publishing. Learn about how legal works. Like, learn about every aspect of it. So when you sign them, even if they leave you one day, because most of the time they will, at least they're leaving with positive information. And they could always say, look, man, I learned a lot from this person. And I always tell my producers this: I want you guys to learn the business. Because God forbid I die tomorrow, and hopefully I don't. I want to make sure I'm in that coffin, nobody's taking advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? God forbid something happens to me and I can't be here no more. I want to make sure you have that information and you know what's going on so nobody can take advantage of you. So before you even get into signing, make sure you know what's going on and how this works so you can teach it to them. And then from there, teach them that and then get into the creativity part. But make sure the business aspect is intact. It's so important. I see producers getting taken advantage of 24/7. And it's kind of fucked up. This is my opinion.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest scams or just fuck ups that I see with production deals is the publishing side of it. Because in most times, like when the producer signs to another producer, like the bigger producer is collecting the publishing, and then they're supposed to be paying the other producer out the publishing, and they wind up not doing that. So do you have you seen that in your experience? Or like, how do you even avoid
that? Two different things, right? You said when the producer signs the producer, right?
Yeah. So when the industry producer, whatever you want to call them.
So that's two different scenarios. So if I'm like, for example, Taz. It's 50-50 publishing. So if you got 50% of the song, you got 20, I got 25. So I can only speak for us. We don't do like no funny business. If a producer has a song and he signed it in their money gets their half, you get your half, you get paid out X, Y, and Z, you get your beat fees, everything's straight down the middle. Sometimes now, away from being signed to somebody, you might do a song with a big producer and they feel like they're a big dog. So if the song's 50% publishing, they'll take 30, give you 20, or they'll take 40, give you 10. We don't play that on internet money. You could be a Z-list producer. You could be the fucking A-list superstar. If the song is 50% publishing, $50,000 beat fee, 4 points royalty. If you do the song with Taz or Nick or KC Supreme, JR, whoever, we don't play that shit. Cut down the middle. Take your half. Go do whatever you want to do with it. We got our half. Let's move on to the next. There's no room for arguments. There's no room for nothing. And can nobody say, and I'm saying this confidently, can nobody say, oh, Internet Money ever stole my publishing or this and the third? Nah, you're going to come in and say, yo, Internet Money's fair business. Like, they gave me half the song. They gave me half of my fee, half my royalties. And I'm not saying that's the norm for everybody. I can only speak for my guys. Our faces is clean in this business. You might say, I don't like Taz's attitude. I don't like Nick Mira's shoes. That's personal. But on the business side, you would never say, we didn't pay you. You didn't get your publishing. You didn't get your royalties. You didn't get your producer credit. You didn't get whatever. It's producers who's not even signed to us anymore that still call me till this day. Hey, Bird, can you help me out? Because they know how genuine and how official we are on Internet Money. I got you. What you need? All right, okay, cool. Hey, Bird, what happened to this? They spelled my name wrong or I didn't get my credit. It's going to be fixed tomorrow, I promise you. Boom, it's fair. Reach out, yo, please fix this. They're like, oh, man, I appreciate it. Because I can't afford for nobody to be saying nothing bad about Internet Money. Because there's already a million haters in the world who don't like us for whatever reasons, but you're never going to speak bad about the business side. Once the money goes to business management, it's all visible. Everybody's on emails. You know when it came. You know when it arrived. You know when it's coming. Pause. It gets sent over. You know, I'm from New York City, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Queens. So it gets sent over. So on that part of the business, I don't really respect it personally because I'm a hustler and I wasn't born with a silver spoon. Each one teach one. Why do I want to take your shit, man? Especially if I'm already rich. If you're really rich and got motion, why you want to take somebody else's stuff? Is something wrong on that side? Like, what's going on? Yeah. Like, there's no need to be greedy. If you really got motion, why are you being greedy for? Yeah. You did a hi-hat, you did a snare, you did a drum, you sneezed wrong on a song. And you're on it, yo, split down the middle. What are we arguing about?
So is that the primary logic for why you guys decide we're always going to split down the middle, just to make things as easy as possible and to kind of just keep the music coming? You know what I mean?
You heard what you said? You said it makes it easy as possible. Yeah. Like, I know producers, yo, I worked on the beat 5 more minutes than him. I need 5 more. Yo, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. What are we doing, man? Yeah. Like, it's funny, right? The song, the song Back Outside Boys, Rio, Des Wright, and Taz. You know, Yachty wrote it. Yachty helped put that play together. So I don't know Lil Yachty, but shout out to Lil Yachty, right? When I got the splits for the royalties, and people don't believe me, I can pull up the receipts. I said, Yachty gets a point. If it wasn't for Yachty, there'll be no record. Yachty gets to publish it, he gets the point. Lil Yachty don't even know that. I don't know Yachty personally. Taz them know. That's their homie. He got a point on the record because that's just fair business. You know what happens? The next record, Yachty knows business will handle properly. He's going to hook up Taz and Rio with another record or anybody in their money. He's going to come back and we're going to have a great business relationship. It might not be personal. It's all good. But on the business side, it's going to be handled. No producer can say in their money fucked them over. You can't because I'm not going to allow it. And I brought that system into the family. All my producers, that's how they do their business. You call them, like, how we going to do this? Oh, we do it evenly. I don't produce like, evenly? For real? Yeah, what do you mean for real? That's not normal for you? Nah, you know, most of the times people take yada, yada, yada. Well, in their money neighborhood, that's just how it is. And some people might not agree with me, which is cool. Whatever you do in your block, handle that. On my block, we in their money. On our block, we do stuff fairly. And if you got a problem with that, don't come on our block and do business with us because we don't got no time for no big bro or, excuse my language, oh, I'm the big guy. Man, fuck all that shit, man. Everything's done equally, fairly, and let's focus on the music. If you really making money, like you say you're making money, that's tedious.
Yeah. So if a younger producer comes to you and like, yeah, I'm working with this big producer and he wants to take like 80% of the record, like how should I go about this? Would you know?
I'm gonna tell him like, look, bro, you're probably gonna lose that battle, but you're not gonna lose the war. So you could tell them like, look, man, I feel like it should be 50-50, this and the third. Or if they want to do that, make it reasonable. Don't say it's 50% publishing, here's 10, I take 40. If you're going to do the big brother thing, take 30, give me 20, cool, I understand. Your ego, you feel like you've been through the mud and yada, yada. I respect it, cool. But don't try to like rob me, you know what I'm saying? And most of the time, producers get robbed because they don't got a representation. They don't know any better. And you know it's the biggest thing I hate? They're not going to work with me anymore. Why the fuck you want to work with them in the first place? They want to do some bullshit to you like that. I don't want to work with you if you want to rob me. The fuck I want to work with you for? Go fuck yourself. I don't want to work with you again. Yo, if you ask for more publishing, they might not work with you no more. Shit. They're doing me a favor. You showing me who you really are from the beginning. So yeah, I don't want to work with you tomorrow. I'm cool with the relationship ends today. You got to have some dignity, man. You got to have some pride in yourself. Because that's just, to me, it's just bullshit. But again, this is just me speaking. I can only speak about me and my guys. Whatever happens outside of us, it's just my opinion. But I know over here, I know how we do our things.
Yeah, you mentioned briefly like they don't have management or representation that kind of helps them with those conversations. So for you, we talked a little bit about this off camera. What do you feel like the role of a producer's manager is, and what should they kind of avoid?
That's a great question, right? So people get this misconstrued, like, I want a manager. Some people want a manager because it looks cool. I put on the bio manager, you know what I'm saying? I feel important. I got a manager. Woo! I mean, but you don't need a manager. You got things you need to manage. I'm saying, like, most people think I need a manager to help me get placements. No, that's not a manager. Now we're partners. You want to get your placements? All right, we're gonna bust the publishing down. Now we're partners. But a manager, I'm here to handle your business. Talk to your business manager. Speak to your lawyer. Negotiate the terms. When them all them emails are coming through, you don't want to respond. I'm responding. I'm speaking to business manager. I'm speaking to legal. I'm negotiating with the other artists and producers manager. That's what the manager is here to do. My job's not here to get you placements. I reach out to Lil Tech. Yo, my producer want to give you beats. He's like, who are you? I reach out to artists. Who are you? Artists, producers, artists. You guys build that relationship. Let me talk to their manager or their A&R. You speak to the artist, build that relationship with. You guys send each other beats direct. When people are like, yo, I want to get in their money beats. I'm like, all right, cool. Create a group chat on Instagram DM. I'll put all my producers in there. You put your producers in there. Let the producers talk. Let them exchange numbers and emails. Let them build that together. Us, we get off the conversation. We talk off topic. All right, here's how it's going to work. Here's how it's not going to work. Here's how much we charge. Here's yada, yada, yada. And we handle that. But let the creators handle the creative stuff. And most producers don't look for managers. You're looking for placements. Go build that relationship. Go find an artist with no followers, with no fans, with 2 players on SoundCloud. Go help build him up. Go help start from ground zero with him. Then you're going to have a long-lasting relationship. Look at Juice WRLD, DT, and Nick Mira. They have, rest in peace, they have their long relationship. They have plenty of records together. Look at Taz and Lil Tecca. Ransom came out 2019. That's 5 years ago.
Yeah, where was Lil Tecca at when that came out?
It's
Was
funny.
he like,
It's funny. He had his little bars online. He was doing his thing. He flew out of L.A. I never forget Taz calling me, yo, I just did like 6 records with Lil Tecca. I'm like, word, that's what's up. I didn't know who Lil Tecca was, man. That's what's up. Boom. A few months later, all these songs on his album. If I'm not mistaken, all those songs are like platinum now. And now 5 years later, they're still working. Taz didn't even get him a Lil Tecca to get Tecca the beat. Taz seen the artist who was doing this thing or it wasn't really so big. Taz like, I fuck with his shit. Let me reach out to him. Come to LA, cause it's work, bro. Taz had just moved to California himself too, lived in his house on the hills. They got together, they worked, they built a relationship. Me and Giuseppe, his manager, we have our own relationship, and Taz and Tecca have their own relationship. When we all see each other, it's all love, but I want to deal with the managers. I don't want to deal with the artists. I'm not chasing placements for you because me and the artists are now building a relationship. It's not you now. You see what I'm saying? You guys go build it. But most producers are like, yeah, I want a manager. I need placements. You don't need me, bro. Or you don't need a manager. You need to get up out your ass and go reach out to some artists, build your relationship, and get your placements. And that, again, and when I say this a lot, that's just how I do things. Other manager might feel like, I want to get placements. Then, my brother, more power to you.
how do you feel about people taking a percentage when they helped you land the placement? People have mixed feelings on that. So whether that's a manager, engineer, A&R.
I'm a manager, all right? If I get a placement, I don't take publishing. Because I feel like it's the manager's job. This is my opinion. But some managers, that's how they come at it. Because they know they value, they know they can do it. Respectfully, that's what you do. But they have other people. They have A&Rs who go out there and do it. Do it respectfully. Like, don't look like a douchebag trying to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like I might need a feature with LeBron James. If you know LeBron James, hey, bro, I'll give you 2%, 3% publishing. Can you connect us? I'll get that shit done for you tomorrow. You get it done? I'm more than happy to give you 2, 3, 4, whatever percentage that we negotiated. Because if it wasn't for you, there'll be no record. So we all win. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Like this guy named Dizzy Cleanface. Shout out my man Dizzy from Florida. I needed to get Nav on the Lemonade record. At the time, the people I had, one of the people I was connected to, he was away on vacation. You know what I'm saying? If you know what that means. He was on vacation. Shout out to my man Bucks. I couldn't get in contact with him. I knew my man Dizzy was close with the XO family. Hey, Dizzy, how much is Nav going to charge for a feature? Oh, X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. Got it done. Taz said, here, Dizzy, here's a certain amount of publishing for that song. If you go on Lemonade credits, you're going to see Donnie, Dizzy, Cleanface, Flores' name on the song. Gave him his publishing for it. If it wasn't for him, we would have got the Nav feature. Probably would have took longer. Probably wouldn't have happened. Who knows? So there's certain instances where, yeah, I respect it. If somebody's helping you out, give them an incentive. Like, I got you 2%, 3%. I got 1%. Cool. Go do what you got to do. It gets done. Everybody wins. So I'm not mad at that.
Makes sense for sure. And I wanted to touch. Oh, also, there's so much I want to talk on, bro. This shit is a puzzle. There's so much to explore with you, bro. I'm so excited about this. That's why I'm just letting you ramble and talk about all this. So thank you, bro. I want to thank you again. One thing you mentioned was, you try to talk to the managers a lot, and just try to, keep that relationship and let the artists do the artist stuff. Who do you feel like when it comes to the business conversations and when we start talking about money and splits, like, do you wind up kind of taking the lead on those conversations, like almost entirely, or kind of do you let the artists talk?
I mean, on my producers, it's funny, right? As soon as somebody starts talking numbers, like, hey, talk to Bird. Like, that's what you're paying a manager for, so that's my job. I start doing the splits, the negotiations. It gets dirty. That's the dirty work. So that's my job. So I do that. Most of the creators, they don't even want to talk about that shit because they don't know what to ask for. They don't know like what they should be asking for or how it should look on paper. So that's my job, and I take pride in doing that shit.
Another random question. You were talking about fixing credits, and that's something a lot of producers stress about, and I still haven't really found how do you wind up fixing credits? Like, who's the person do you reach out to?
The label. You reach out to the label or whoever whatever A&R was involved with the record. Hey, how you doing? My producer's name is spelled wrong, or my producer's missing the credit. You do it nicely. You know what I'm saying? It gets done most of the time.
Yeah. Like, kind of right away?
If they're ignoring you, and you might say, and then you might start talking a little, disrespectful until they fix it. But most of the time, they're pretty good at changing it and fixing it.
And I also wanted to touch on, what do I want to touch on? Oh, I wanted to touch on Internet Money's relationship with 10K projects. First of all, like, what were you looking for from a partner or a joint venture situation? Like, why did you feel like what were you thinking about when you were looking for?
So when we first got on the phone with Ellie, I'll never forget this. The first time I ever talked to Elliot, I remember where I was at and everything. I was in California. Remember FaZe Banks?
Yes.
FaZe Clan?
Yeah.
So they had some like crazy big ass mansion. Shit was like took over a whole block of some shit. I literally was Taz like, yo, I'm at FaZe house, pull up. I went to Cali that time. Pulled up there. I just left a meeting with Epic, with Sylvia Roan and Ezekiel Elliott. He's like, yo, I'm at FaZe house, pull up to them. I'm like, this big ass house, man. Right? And he's like, yo, Elliot about to call you. I'm like, okay, cool. Got on the phone with Elliot. I want to partner with you guys. I want to work with you guys. I see the vision. I think you guys should fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? I like what you guys got going on, and I see a future with internet money, bigger than what you guys are doing now.
Because at the time you were with Alamo, right?
We were at Alamo. Shout out Todd Moskowitz and Zeke. Right? So we were at Alamo. I mean, my man Cam was over there. He's with us now, though. So we was at Alamo. And, I mean, he's seen the vision. Like I said, Taz is a mad scientist. I'm saying evil genius. So everybody doesn't understand him. He's very ambidextrous with everything he does. I'm saying the left side of his brain works a little different than the right side. The right side works a little different than the left side. That's Taz Taylor. That's why he's Taz Taylor. And when we spoke to Elliot, he was like, I'm not here to get in your way. I'm just here to put steroids on whatever you're doing to enhance it. I said, okay, cool. He spoke our language. He was like, yo, I want to build this thing to be bigger than life. It's bigger than the producers, bigger than just internet money as a whole. 10K was just starting up. They had Trippy. They had 6ix9ine. They might have had Little Nar and somebody else. I don't remember. And then they had homemade projects also. Shout out to Zach and Tony. And they wanted to enter their money also. And we fucked with the vision. They fucked with the vision. So all right, let's do it. Elliot is young. He's not like the other CEOs where, it's like the grandfather way of things. He's young and gunning. Let's gun. 100. You like it? I love it. 100 miles an hour. Let's run for it. And we fucked with that.
His dad is Lucien, so that's.
His dad is Lucien. Cool. He doesn't really use that card unless I don't see it. He's not. He doesn't come to the meeting and say, my dad is? Nah.
Yeah.
He come to me like, yo, no disrespect. Fuck my dad. I'm Elliot. My dad's who he is. I love my dad, but I'm Elliot. You know what I'm saying? So he never used that dad card. I respect that. And people always say with that Elliot. He don't be like, and I'm not saying he doesn't use it. I don't know what's going on in the background. But he doesn't use that card. My dad is Lucien. Now, he doesn't really use that card. I'm Elliot. I want to do this myself and build something, and I want you guys to be a part of it. And we respected that, and we went and we built something tremendous with Internet Money, the artist, even with Joe Kenji, our artist, and now Richard Miri, who's doing, he got a song called, what's it called, One Call, I believe the song called. Is it called One Call? I think it's called One Call. I might be saying it wrong. Richard Miri is doing like 2.3 million a day as of right now. It's like number 63 on the Hot 100. He's on fire. Taz and them did the record with Rio. There's another producer, I don't know his name. 10K paid for it. It's the partnership. And we're on fire right now. So, he believed in the vision. And he believed in Taz's vision. And, it's coming to front now.
What were the steroids that he kind of put you guys on? Like, what were you looking for? Of course, I assume some marketing budgets and pushes on platforms.
A partner. Like, Elliot said, Taz, if you like it, I love it. That's how much he believes in Taz. Forget the artist Taz signs. Forget the records he does. I believe in Taz's vision. I know one day he'll find an artist or two. Fast forward, 2020, the artist became one of the artists. Lemonade, one of the biggest songs of the decade. Over 2 billion streams, 6-7 times platinum. Whatever, crazy stats. Oh, shit, look, it came. We had a song called Blast Off. It did great. We had Somebody. It did great. We had, there's another song on the album, too, that did great. So we had songs on the album. The album was platinum. He believed in it. Now, look, 3 years after that, Richard Miri's on fire. He believes in Taz, and it worked. And he funds it. Taz said, yo, this is going to cost X, Y, and Z. Cool, let's pay for it. He funds it. Taz needs X, Y, and Z done. He gets it done. And I'm not saying there's no hiccups, because there's always hiccups in relationships. It's not always green. We got red days where, we're going at it with the label, and they're coming at it with us. That's normal. That's like a relationship. Every relationship is not perfect. But as long as you can find a common ground in the median and make it work and figure it out, let's keep moving. Let's keep working. It's all about the work at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Let's just keep working, making the money, making the records, making it make sense. And whatever happens after that, it's all good. But as long as the business is intact, That's all that matters.
And I think internet money is the epitome of what people want to build, producers want to build. But even with producer royalty, I would love to have that. That's in the long-term vision to have some type of label situation like that. So for people who are interested in going that route of releasing their own projects and going like that, and then maybe finding a distribution partner like you have, what are some things or suggestions that you have for them to think about when looking for a partner?
It's a great question. So again, like I said in the beginning, study the ones that came before. So I can speak for the Mike Wills, the South Sides. I've seen it. I've seen the mistakes that have been done. I've seen the success stories. You watch it. And I've seen it with Internet Money, the mistakes we've done, the success stories. So a producer who wants to come up and do the same thing. For example, like one of our partners is Synthetic. He has Hologram. He's doing the same thing. I'm sure his manager Josh and John Hicks, they're watching what Internet Money did to not make the same mistakes. To actually use how do I say this? To use the steps we took to skip steps. Because they just watch it. Watch your peers. Watch the people that came before you. Same way, like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. Shout out to Southside. Shout out to Mike. I literally seen these guys build their companies. I literally seen it. Seen these guys build their companies, sign artists, make some of the biggest records in the world. Okay, cool. I see how you did that. I see what you did. Okay, you signed an artist. Okay, cool. You signed some producers. You signed some international guys. Okay, cool. You did this, and the third. And when the money came out, you carbon copy with your own identity, though. So if a producer wants to do the same thing, pay attention to the people that came before you. I gave you 3 names. Southside, Mike, Will, Taz. Study all 3 of them. And whatever answers you're looking for, you'll find it. You're going to see what they did wrong, what they did right, what they could have did better, and you'll make sure you put your little twang on the dish and serve it to the people.
It's kind of hard to picture what is 10K and what is internet money. Like when we all see the release of your album, right? But like, what are they doing? Like, I'm just thinking when if a producer wants to release their own album and they could do it on DistroKid or go find a partner, like really specifically, I guess, what is an example of what working with a label like 10K would do?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example. So when you got to pay for the features, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Shout out 10K because they paid for it. Certain songs needed clearances. 10K helped us get it cleared. Certain label waivers wouldn't have got approved if Elliot didn't have relationships with some of the bosses in the other labels. So that's another big one. Also, getting certain features where I might not know the manager or the label they're signed to, but 10K might. Even like international, which they helped us out with a lot because, they have a big presence in the UK and they do a lot of international. They helped us with the international, making sure our records became global, not just on a American scale, it went all over the world. So there's certain things that a label can help. I'm definitely a fan of labels. People are like, fuck a label. That independent shit don't work for everybody. It just doesn't.
Where do they go wrong independently?
Sometimes your train stops in the next stop because you don't have enough money for fuel. You need finances. You can go get a loan or get an investor, cool. But then sometimes the finances is not just the only thing, it's connections. Or you might need a partner who knows somebody that can get things done. It all depends on what works for you. Like, let me give you an example. If I want to go to California tomorrow, right? I can get on the Greyhound. I can get in my own car and drive. I can get on the airplane. I can even get on the fucking boat. You know what I'm saying? What works for you? Pick what works for you. I might not want to spend 24 hours in a car. So I'm not getting in a car. I might want to get there in 6 hours. I'm getting on JetBlue. What works for you? Like Taz, he drives from California to Florida all the time in his Tesla. That doesn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. But it works for him. So, but there's no right or wrong thing because if we got to be in Florida in a week, we're both going to make it there. But he decided he wanted to drive and I took the plane. I just got there before him. But the end of the story is the goal is we both made it. So whatever works for you, figure it out and do what works for you. That's it.
Yeah, and learn from the other. Yeah, that's the kind of
study. Like, yo, listen, I'm Caribbean descent. My dad died when I was 1. My mom, they both from Haiti. They both came to this country. I wasn't born a silver spoon, nothing like that. Grandparents worked. My grandfather was a taxi driver. My mom, she went to school, became an RN, took care of 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my household, it wasn't taught to go do music or play sports. I haven't played basketball also, but that wasn't the norm. The norm was to stay out the streets. Like, don't be outside doing bad things. Go to school, become a doctor, lawyer, whatever, whatever, whatever. That's the norm in Caribbean households. I didn't have no mentor. I didn't read no books for management, yada, yada, yada. I had YouTube and at the time Twitter, and I watched what other people did, and I watched stories, I watched videos, listened to stuff. I was around like my Brick Squad family early in the beginning. From you probably don't know these names, but shout out Caesars, Love De Niro's, Joe the Bosses. You know what I'm saying? I was around Bimmies. I was around the Brick Squad. This is all legendary names I'm giving you. I was around my Brick Squad family late 2010, early 2011, and I listened and I watched. I didn't know what I was doing. Shout out my man Frenchie, Free Yodi, and these people in jail. But these are all Brick Squad names I'm giving you. I didn't know what I was doing, but they believed in me. I knew I was smart, I was organized, and I had a passion and a vision. But I didn't know nothing about management. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I played basketball my whole life. My mom was an RN. My dad's dead. Like, nobody in my family did music. That wasn't even music. What? I would never in a million years that I'll be here. But I believed and I just studied. I'm like, y'all want to do this. And if I do it, I'm going to do it right. YouTube University, bro. Watching old managers, old record label executives, watching the mistakes, watching Dame Dash interviews, Jay-Z interviews, DMX, watching the old Cash Money. My name's Birdman for a reason. I don't just call myself Birdman. Like, I like to stunt. I mean, that's what it really means. But I was infatuated with Cash Money. Like, I love signing artists. I just love that whole style. That was me. That was my whole MO. So I watched. I watched the others before me, and I learned the game, and I'm still learning the game till this day. You walk to my office, I mean, you can't see it now, but you guys look, my laptop, my desktop's open. I have it on music videos, and my television's on right now. I have it on a podcast. I'm listening and I'm learning. I don't know everything, but I do know I have the opportunity to get up every day, and I'm blessed that God wakes me up, and I have the internet, and I have an office where I can come and learn more stuff. Just go learn. And whatever's going to be for you is going to be for you. That's it. There's no secrets. There's no recipe. If there was, I'll be a billionaire. But that's not the case. So you got to learn, study your peers, focus on the future, and just give yourself a fucking chance. And that's it.
You just gave the people so much to learn from, bro. This was absolutely incredible. I feel like I've watched a shit ton of interviews. I think this just might be one like top 3 I've ever watched.
Hey man, top 3. It better not be number 3.
Yeah. Thank you so much, bro.
All right, my brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you so much, yo. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to top this one in the future, but appreciate y'all. And thank you, Mike. Shout out the man behind the camera, Mike.